And I said, like, which Sarah? Because we have many Sarahs. And
even though it's a different name.
She said, I'm that old Sarah, you forgot me. And I said, so you are that Sarah? And she said, and I said, like, how are you? Where are you? Where did you go? She said, the family arranged a marriage for her. And she had no right to say that I don't like that man. And he was quite older than her. So she married when she was in year 5. At that time when she phoned me, she said that I have one son and one was still in her tummy. So at that time, like now I'm 16, and you can imagine that she would have 2 children now.
And
so that is what is happening in Swat, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in India as well. So
early child marriages.
This is called early child marriage, and without their wish.
So really your campaign is about that as well. It's not just to read and write. It's to have a life where you can choose and you don't have to get married off at a really young age.
I think it's not a good idea to marry at a really early age, because then you marry, but then there comes responsibilities as well. And especially the responsibilities then a woman has are a lot more than men. Yeah. That's true.
You're very wise.
So I think that if a girl wants to marry a boy, then we must first look at their wish. Are they agreeing with it? And then it comes to age as well, because we have restrictions on everything. Restriction on mobile phone use, on internet use, on the use of drugs. You can have alcohol. So there's like a certain age limit. So I think we must also have an age limit for a wedding as well, for getting married as well. But we must, when we make laws, then we must follow it as well. You must work on it as well. So in Pakistan laws, we have these laws, but nobody is acting on it, nobody is sharing it with people, nobody is telling people that these are the laws, you must follow it. So sometimes people usually think that Malala only speaks against terrorism and she's only speaking for education. But when I speak for education, it's for all those children who are suffering from terrorism, from child labor, from child trafficking. They are also victims of the cultural norms and taboos that are against their rights.
You're 16? Really wise? What do you do that's girly? What do you like in movies, music, books?
The first and the important thing in my life is that I raise my voice against my brothers. So, and because they're still brothers and I am like the only daughter, so it's very necessary to fight against them and to raise our voice against them. And other than that, when I was in Pakistan, I liked Western music like Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez. But when I came here, when I came to UK, then I was missing my own Pashto music and Urdu music. That's why now I listen to Pashto songs a lot. Because when we just are deprived of something, then we miss it a lot. And the same was the education in Swat. Before the terrorism, we were going to school. It was just a normal life, and carrying a heavy bag and doing homework daily and being good and getting high marks. We could not understand what we are doing. Why are we going to school? But then later on, when the terrorists came, when they stopped us from going to school, I got the evidence. And they showed me a proof that yes, the terrorists are afraid of education. They are afraid of the power of education. And if a woman gets education, then she becomes more powerful. And we all know that the terrorists are afraid of the power of women as well. So now, at that time, we realized that yes, education is important because it was snatched from us. So I would like to tell every girl in UK, in America, in the countries, in the developed countries where education is available to them, that go to schools and realize its importance before it is snatched from you, as we have been suffered from that situation. So going to school, doing homework on time, being good to teachers and being good to each other, it's a very important part of life. So go to school.
I need to introduce you to my son. Malala, you can see we have some wonderful young people here, and people are so eager to come and listen to you. And there is a question from the audience. Zara, I believe. Where are you, Zara?
I'm here. Hello.
Come on and ask your question.
Hi, Malia. My name is Zara Abdullah. I'm from Jamaica, Queens, New York, and I have a question for you. I want to know, when you did your first journal entry in the BBC Urdu blog, did you ever think your story would have such a profound impact on the world?
At that time, when I said the first diary of the first day, when I was talking to the BBC correspondent, I did not know that, is anyone going to listen to it? Would it be heard by anyone? Does it have an impact? But I was sure about one thing, that Malala, you are doing what you should do, and what's your responsibility. Because I believe that when your people, when your land are in such a hard and such in a difficult situation, then you must speak. So at that time, I spoke. So I was not realizing that is anybody listening to it, but then later on, when I found that the whole world listened to it, they read it, and they tried to understand what was happening in Swat. So yes, we do not realize at that time, but when we speak, our voices are heard. And I would like to tell every girl that whenever they need to speak, and if they want to speak, they must. And they must not think that writing just one article would not bring change. Writing, having one interview with that channel, it doesn't have an impact. It has. It's the best you can do. And it was the best that I could do. And we did it.
Okay, thank you for answering my question.
Thank you, Zara. That was a really good question. You got a really good answer.
Thank you.
You know, the Queen of England has invited you to the palace. You're going, right?
Yes, I am going because it's the order of the Queen. It's the command.
And Madonna mentions you in her concert, and Angelina Jolie speaks about you and to you. And you've become so well known. What does all that mean to you? How do you process all that?
When people write on Twitter, we support Malala, it does not only mean that great stars are supporting me, it does not mean like they have tweeted on me, oh, it's like a great thing. Other than that, they're also supporting my cause. It means that the whole world is taking an action for girls' education, for the education of every child. We must not forget that even boys are suffering from child labor. And we women speak about equality. We are not as harsh as men because we want equality. We are very kind to men. That's why we are also speaking about boys' rights as well. So when I look at the response of people, when I look at their support, then I think that Malala, the day for which you were waiting for your whole life, it's only 16, but because I had a target, that this is my target, I want to see every child, I want to see those 57 million children who are out of school, I want them to be in school, I want them to study, I want them to get quality education, I want them to learn. So when I look at the support of people, I think that it's just tomorrow, and we are going to achieve that goal as soon as possible.
How do you feel about going to the palace?
I have to learn how to...
Curtsy.
Difficult job.
No, it's going to be great. I think you said that you wanted to be a doctor, but your dad wanted you to be a politician. You wrote very nicely about that in your book, and you said, no, I don't want to be a politician. This was before. Now, you write that one of your heroes, one of the people you admire the most, was Benazir Bhutto, Pakistan's first female prime minister, and also someone who was brutally murdered by the Taliban. Tell me about Benazir Bhutto and what she means to you, and do you want to be Prime Minister of Pakistan?
When I was in Swat, and it's the culture that a woman can only be a doctor or a teacher if she gets education. Otherwise, she has to be a housewife and feed the children and live a life according to what man says in just the 4 boundaries of a house. I was thinking to become a doctor because everyone in our classroom says they want to become a doctor. But when I was looking at the situation of Swat, when I saw that the government is not taking an action, and when I saw that the responsible people are not saying anything, and then later on, I realized that becoming a doctor, I can only help a small community, but by becoming a politician, I can help my whole country. And usually, the doctors have to treat the patients, and most of the time now they have to treat patients who are being injured, who are being killed. So I want to go and stop those people who are doing killing. So it's also like helping doctors. So I will ensure doctors that there would be no more patients who are being shot and who, I know like some doctors might be feeling a bit bad.
No, they understand, don't worry.
I know that we also want patients, but we want those patients who are not being treated that much harshly. And I want to become a Prime Minister of Pakistan, and I think it's really good. Because through politics, I can serve my whole country. I can be the doctor of the whole country, and I can help children to get education, to go to school. I can improve the quality of education, and I can spend much of the money from the budget on education. And I can also concentrate on the foreign affairs. So, so I think politics is a good field to work.
You still have huge dreams. They didn't take that away from you.
They only can shoot a body, but they cannot shoot my dreams. And I think my dreams are living. The important thing is that they shot me because they wanted to tell me that we want to kill you and stop your campaign, but they did a mistake, a biggest mistake. They insured me and they told me through that attack that even death is supporting me, that even death does not want to kill me. And now I'm not afraid of death. First I might have been, but now I'm totally not afraid of death. And when I look at the support of people, then I'm sure that this cause is never going to die. And we will see that a day will come, every child, whether girl or boy, whether black or white, whether Christian or Muslim, he or she will be going to school, inshallah.
Tell me, when you were a young girl, younger than you are now, in the Swat Valley, did you ever even hear of the Nobel Peace Prize?
We read about Nobel Peace Prize because we have a great the scientist, a physicist. He was Abdus Salam. His name is Abdus Salam, and he won the Nobel Nobel Prize in Physics. So that was a really like a great honor for Pakistan that he won the Nobel Prize, and we were really feeling proud of him when we used to read about him in the book. So I only read about Nobel Prize in the book.
And did you read about, do you know some of the great people who've won the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yes, like great people like Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, whom I met. He's a really great personality. And I also like Nelson Mandela. And so there are great people who are winning Nobel Peace Prize, and I think they deserve it. And last year who won the prize, one of them was Tawakkul Karman, and she was the one who awarded me with a Children's Peace Prize. So when I met her, I think she deserved that. And everyone who has got the Nobel Peace Prize, they deserve it. But when I think of myself, I have a lot to do. So I think that it's really an